Come on now. Don't keep your blushing bride waiting. Let's see what it looks like. Come on out from behind the curtain.
You know, Monroe, this would be a much easier fitting if you weren't here. Isn't it bad luck to see your fiancé before the wedding? I can handle things here. And I'm sure you have other matters to attend to before this evening.
Oh, I just want to make sure that everything is perfect for the ceremony. Especially as it pertains to my sweet, violent little fiancé. After the incident with the vase, I thought my being here might inspire a bit more obedience.
I'm fine. No one got hurt. It might have been a good throw, but the Royal Highness is still just a human. It would take a lot more than a well-thrown vase to stop a wolf. Besides, I think Highness and I have become fast friends. They wouldn't do anything else to disrupt the preparations. Isn't that right, Your Highness?
Perhaps. It must be some pre-wedding jitters. We'll be able to rest when all this is over. And both kingdoms are given over to me.
You mean us, right? When both kingdoms are given over to the pack.
Of course. What did I say? Wow, Your Highness. You look stunning in that. It may be the only piece of clothing that could come close to that natural beauty of yours. It's near perfect. Now, Remy, what do you think about the neckline? Is it too much? Or is it too little? I'm thinking it's too much, personally. Let's cut some of that fabric away. They have such beautiful skin. We should showcase it. Oh, I know. I just want it to be flawless for my special day. We only get married once, after all. I think you owe me this little vanity.
You're forgetting it's their wedding, too. Highness has just as much say in all this as you do.
Oh, no, I'm not forgetting anything. I just want my little fiancé to dress a bit more to my liking today. They'll have plenty of time to fuss about my clothes, or lack of them later. Now, let's not have you forget who's in charge here right now, Remy. You followed me out of that wilderness because you didn't like being cooped up there any more than I did. I'm just giving us everything we wanted. And your compliance is going to ensure that everything goes according to plan. Now, if the next words out of your mouth aren't, "How much?" then I guess I'll just have to find someone else who understands my creative vision. There are already 2 prisoners down in that dungeon. What's one more, Remy? I know how much you like being kept in a cage, after all. Now, do you understand?
How much?
You always did think you were clever. If it's not one thing, it's another. Yes? What is it? You've been having a lot of thoughts like that lately. Everything has been according to plan so far. We don't need to... Fine. But just for a moment. I'll be stepping out. I'll be back in just a second. Remy, I want to see that neckline pinned before we finish this appointment. Be sure to have it done when I return.
We need to be quick, Your Highness. We don't have much time before she comes back. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to continue adding pins to your collar so we can end this appointment with Monroe quickly. I'll do my best not to prick you with the pins, but you're gonna have to hold still. If everything goes as planned, you won't need to wear this outfit ever again once we're done. Don't thank me just yet. We don't know if things will go our way. You're right. It is nice to have friends here. I can't tell who's fallen for Monroe's manipulations and who's having doubts. Thank you for trusting me. After you threw that vase at my head, well, I wasn't too sure you were willing to help us. We finally have a chance to talk. But before that, I need you to be sure that you don't want to marry Monroe. She and her champion haven't been merciful to others who tried to stand against them. Yes, there have been other attempts to usurp them, but nothing has worked so far. And I fear this might be our last chance before the damage they cause is irreversible. The champion was never from our pack, not the one Gray started with me and Monroe. Monroe met up with them after we decided to go our separate ways from Gray. Look, you know Gray, so I'm not gonna lie. She means well, she always has, but she can be blinded by her own mistakes. She wanted to keep the humans safe by moving us so far away into that fucking forest that by protecting them, she punished us. She didn't want to learn to control the wolves, and she didn't want us to try either. It left us all in limbo. We weren't able to move on in our human lives, and we weren't really able to accept our new reality. So, when Monroe offered a chance for us to leave, I and everyone else followed her. Now let me make one thing clear. I don't regret leaving the forest. My only regret is following Monroe to do it. In case you haven't noticed already, she's got a way with words. She says something in that honey silk accent of hers, and suddenly people go stupid. And I'm ashamed to say it took me far too long to realize her manipulations. By the time I had, we already met up with the new pack. Yes. The champion and their pack were larger and far more vicious. They liked to give in to whatever their wolves wanted. Being human with them was never an option. And we didn't have Gray anymore. Oh, Gray's power was more than any I've ever seen. Even more than the champion. Without her, we were ripe for the other pack to assimilate us. Monroe knew they would come for us eventually. So she sought them out and made a deal. We all thought it was to protect us from them. But it was just another way for her to grab at something she wanted. This is all about control for them. They want the kingdoms, the land, the people. The wolves crave power. And it turns out, political power is one hell of a drug for them. Oh, shit. Sorry, that needle got away from me. It doesn't look like you're bleeding, at least. Monroe wouldn't like it if her little fiancé wasn't perfect for the ceremony. Ugh, if vanity had a fucking face, it would be hers. Okay, I'm gonna make a small cut here. Hold still. Okay, I'm done. That should be good enough for her right now. No. She never used to act like this. Looking back, she was always vying for power. When the pack first formed, she actually tried to seduce Gray. Oh, that was a shit show. Gray would just cock one of her eyebrows up and give that a disapproving stare that we all know and love. Yep, that's the one. Knowing what I know now, she was always trying to manipulate us against each other, against Gray. But now it's like she's gone drunk with it. Whatever decency that was in her died the day she took the Dumont girl and set fire to half of Dulles. Now, you need to be sure. Do you want to marry her now that you know of everything she's done? I thought you'd say that. I'm glad I trusted you, Your Highness. Our plan is simple. Can't get married if you're not at the ceremony. I have a colleague who's acting as a guard in the dungeon right now. They're going to help the Dumont heiress and you escape from the castle grounds. I also took the liberty of making you a new cloak. It should smell enough like me that no one will stop you when you wear it. But you'll need to be sure to remove it once you leave the castle grounds, or else they'll follow it right back to you. Look, we got lucky that they didn't care enough to follow the changeling, but I don't think we'll be able to get lucky again. Not when it comes to you. After that, we're going to break Gray out and have her handle the champion and Monroe. Yes, she can do it, but knowing her, she won't be willing to go all out if you're still here. Yeah, I think she'd rather die being seen as a human than protect herself as a wolf. Now, my colleague will come and collect you from your room before the ceremony. That way, there will be fewer wolves skulking about to stop you. I'll be at the ceremony working on distracting them. You don't need to concern yourself with that, though if everything works out, you'll be long gone from here. Hopefully, that changeling my colleague rescued from the dungeon was able to go and get help from Monde Dela. And hopefully, we'll have bought ourselves enough time. Oh, and before she comes back, take these. I know scissors aren't much, but they're sharp. Quiet, she's coming.
Well, that took entirely too long. Oh, Your Highness. Now that is much better. I would dare say that it's perfect. And in perfect timing. Remy, help them out of that and take it to be finished. We need to leave my darling fiancé to rest. We have an exciting evening ahead of